Actually, what we like to give the family is a portion of parachute that we used for testing during all this development testing that we did. It's a piece of one of the main parachutes, the orange and white parachutes. And on the back, we just basically explain it a little bit. This is a part of a parachute that was flown on development testing, and it's because of this testing, that we're able to fly a design that's reliable for human spacecraft, and the testing that we've done is really the fundamental piece that improves the design of the parachute, gets it to be a very reliable system in the end. So I'd like to give this to the family, represent the work that he did with us as a team. I remember one of the things I remember talking to Russ about, and this was right before the kids were born. We got on a topic of, and it was just a general conversation we were having on the table, because several of us, were having kids, had kids recently, going to have kids, and somehow the topic got on to do you let your kids eat in the car or not? And several of us were like, well, you can start out saying you're not going to do it, but by God, after a little bit of time goes on, those rules relax, right? A lot of us that had kids were like, yeah, but some of us, we get soft and we're like, you can have your French fries in the back, I don't care. I remember Russ saying, it's like, nope, when we go on travel, we're not going to be eating in the car. If we're eating, we're going to pull off to the side, and we're going to get out, we're going to have our food, and we were all like, yeah, we'll see how long that exists. But I followed up with him a little while before, or like maybe a year ago or so, and it seemed like he was still pretty much keeping to that that line that we're going to keep the car clean, not going to have the kids eat in the car. So yeah, it was a.
That happened to me. Yes, yes, I take them. We cannot eat in the car. We cannot eat in the car. This is an exception. This is an exception.
Yeah, Roberta called me after he died, and I was like, how's it going? And she's like, we're at McDonald's again, and Russ hates McDonald's, and we're eating in the car.
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of great memories. With Russ working with us, the team, we work very closely together, and especially those on the test and ops team that travel a lot to Yuma. They spend some quality time out there in Yuma and develop a lot of close relationships, which is common on this team. And this is a hard time for a lot of us because we're missing one of our family members in this. But, I don't know if anyone else had any stories too they wanted to briefly mention. Carol's our test and ops lead on the NASA side.
All right, so you'll have a voodoo doll at home and you stick pins in the person that sends Russ to Yuma. It's me, ow, ow. So yeah, Russ worked for me, and he came on the project, and we told him, you're going to be a test manager. He says, great, what's a parachute? And then he dug right in, and he went those parachutes top to bottom, side to side. He knew everything about the parachutes. He knew about the avionics, about the mechanisms, about the whole business, and he's such an easy leader. He was, getting along with the team. It was just always a pleasure to work with Russ, and it's just, we do miss him.
And I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything. So this is the flag we just saw earlier that was flown at half staff. So this, give this to the family. There's a note here from the Johnson Space Center too that goes with it, and then we also have a letter from the project, kind of signifying, describing the significance of the flag and where it was flown. And also just briefly talks about Russ's contribution to not just a project, a program, but again, this vehicle flying for decades, and so it's very cool that Russ's fingerprints are all over this, and we'll have that to also remember him by every time the spacecraft flies. So I really want to thank the family for coming. I know this is a very difficult time, but I'm really happy to share in the experiences that we've had with Russ.
Thank you all. Like I mentioned before, we've really enjoyed working with you all. He loves space and flying. You really enjoyed working with y'all. And we spent so much of our time at work. That's really important. And so you all really sacrificed.
And feel free to stay as long as you want.
Thank you. And thank you all, everyone who's called, texted, sent stuff, done stuff. Thank you.
What is that?
So you want a sticker too?
Yeah, we have some stickers, patches, and pins for the family. Come up, take them all, take whatever you want. The pin is an Orion pin, Orion EFT-1, sorry. So that was again the first mission that this program flew these parachutes on to deep space and back, which is one of those parachutes that was out there.
Planet Earth.
Again, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isabella is a really pretty name. We were tied with the name of my daughter, who was Skylar, with Isabella. Those were going into, and even after birth, we were still like one or the other. So we did end up calling her Skylar, but we often call her Skylar Bella to kind of incorporate both into it, even though it has nothing to do with Isabella is no longer part of her name at all.
He's taught him a lot about space, and I hope
That's right.
continue to keep them well educated on what they're going to do.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Robert has a lot of the engineering in him, so look forward to maybe someday.
I'd love to go out.
Yeah.
I think we have a good another lot we can't reach every site.
Maybe we have a future NASA engineer or astronaut on our hands.
This one comes off.
Some paper, sticker on some paper. There, you can take it on here. You can put it on here.